Hello, everybody. It's Annette here, and I'm with Renee Rivera. Hey, Renee.
Hi. Hey, everybody. Good to see you. Ish.
Well, last time we were talking about your tough weekend you had that really wasn't as tough as it could have been if you would have stewed on stuff. So you
Yeah.
took action, and that was wonderful. But what came to mind afterwards was, there are times when something happens, you just don't have the words.
Yeah.
It could happen so quickly, like in your situation that you had on that video, that no words came to you. You were shocked. You weren't expecting this at all. It just came out of the blue. And so I thought it would be good to just talk about a couple of stories today to help people maybe think through the process and maybe do a little planning.
I love that. Absolutely. I love what you have taught in the past, or what you have shared with me, what you have done, and what you've shared with your daughters and prepared them to do as well. So I'm glad that others are going to get to hear this today. Yeah.
well, well, hopefully it's beneficial for everybody.
Yes.
Um, the first time I can remember not having a reaction as in being able to say anything with someone that came to mind was in fifth or sixth grade. I was coming from outside, all the whole class was, and it was cold outside, and we came inside, sat at our desk, and the guy in front of me at his desk turned around and stared at me, and I didn't realize where he was staring, but he said, "Oh my goodness, Annette Spaghetti, it looks like your meatballs are ready." And a few people around the desk area started laughing. I didn't understand what he was talking about. And he turned around and the teachers started talking and class went on. But in my mind, it was like, what happened during that moment? Why didn't
Mm.
I get what was so funny? And so as I was opening my desk and doing stuff, I looked down and I could see that my chest was perky. And it was like, oh my goodness. And I was so embarrassed.
Mm.
Being in fifth or sixth grade, it was like, where can I run and hide? There's no place to run and hide. But the moment came, the moment left, and I had no words, nothing to say, nothing to deflect or admonish him, just nothing. I was shocked that somebody would bring up something like that in front of everybody. So, anyways, that was a moment when I was little that I remember. Can you
Yeah.
think of a moment like that where it was just out of the blue, you weren't expecting it, and you
Yeah.
just didn't have the words?
Well, yes, I think I can remember one of the very first times. It's more than an embarrassing moment. I guess if we identify it, it's more than an embarrassing moment, but it's almost a shameful moment that someone would do something offensive towards you in these regards. This, what we're talking about. And mine was family members. We were invited to somebody's cabin. So
Oh,
excited.
fun.
Never been to a cabin before, so you have these pictures in your head. And we go, and I'm in a bathing suit. I'm probably 11 or 12 years old. I was slow at development, we'll just say that. Apparently, it didn't matter to these older boys that were there from our family friends. Um, the older brother brought a friend, and as they were walking by, they were making, I'll just say, some crude remarks about body parts they couldn't see, but they were, let's just say, vision casting what they would enjoy. And it was shocking to me sitting on the picnic bench what I heard. I had never heard, I shouldn't say that. I don't remember hearing things like that prior to that from boys before. And I didn't have a response to say. It just shocked me. I didn't know what to do. So I just kept it inside. And from that point on, I actually was pretty I don't know what that word is, not self confident, but very withdrawn from that point on.
Self-conscious of
Yeah,
what you
self-conscious.
wore. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, dang, I wasn't trying to do anything. Wasn't trying to, but people will say, no matter if you want them to or not, there will be people that will do stupid. So,
Absolutely. What about a time where a line did come to you? Words came to your mouth.
well, yeah, a little bit older, being a teenager, I was probably 16 at the time. So proud of myself because there's boys standing outside of this pizza restaurant, and I was with a girlfriend or two, and we're walking in, not thinking anything of it, but you just You feel like you look cute, you know, you're with your girlfriends, you're having fun. And all of a sudden, this guy just, he spews this ugly remark about getting
Mhm.
busy, and then some, we'll just say that. And my response, which obviously I was getting more confident and putting people where they needed to go with truth. And it was, well, marry me first, and then you can. And it shocked him and made him stand in his,
Oh my
like,
goodness.
okay. But seriously, those are things I reserved for marriage. And you don't go saying, let's go. It was disrespectful the way it was said to me.
Right.
And it was not an invitation whatsoever, nor would I marry the dude ever, because that was disrespectful. What about you?
Um, Mine was about the last time I could think of was like 5 or 6 years ago. I was at a hotel at the buffet. You know how you go down there for breakfast, and it was crowded. There was at least 30 people down there. It was packed. And so I was getting some yogurt and putting stuff on top of it. And a gentleman came up next to me and he was getting fruit. So it was tight in there, but you didn't have to touch each other. And he was getting fruit and things like that for his oatmeal, I think it was. And anyways, I noticed he was like close, and then he was touching me like shoulder to shoulder. And it was like, I'm just going to hurry up and get my stuff because this is uncomfortable. And so I reached over to put the spoon back in the granola, and boy, he just took his arm and then started rubbing it up and down my chest as I reached forward. And it was in that moment, I remember what I taught my girls: take what's in the dark, what is secretive at that moment, and put it in the light. And
Mhm.
so I said, you're not putting your arm up and down my chest right now, are you? And I said it very loud so that everybody could hear, not just a few people around us, everybody. Immediately,
Amen.
he left his bowl of oatmeal, put it down, and just walked straight out of there. And I turned around and I said, thank you, everybody, for supporting me.
Mm.
Nobody said anything, but I got my food, went and sat down. I am sure my face was red, but I knew I'd get over it. And that's basically what happened. What I've found is when you're saying something, especially out loud, it catches people. They can't be
Mhm.
doing something in secret. And he was doing something he thought in secret that I wasn't going to say anything about, if that makes sense.
Yeah. He was thinking he was getting away with it, making it look like, oops, I stumbled over your body to get my food.
Yeah, yeah,
No.
no, that wasn't it at all. It was pretty obvious.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. So why is it that you felt you needed to teach your daughters that line? I love that line. I never knew that until you said it, until you taught it to me. I think when we were just talking about this video, I'm like, genius. I
Well, I
think
don't know, it's a genius.
oh, genius
Well,
because we come across that.
right. And I knew my girls would grow up and they'd be getting gas for their cars. And it always seemed to me when we lived in California, getting gas in your car was a time that men would look around and they'd see that you're there and there's not a lot of other people around. So they just come over looking like they're just being talkative or helpful or whatever it is. And then they do these raunchy lines or inappropriate trying to reach over and help you and touch things they shouldn't type situation. And so I warned my girls about that and how they need to say things loudly, especially if they're being touched or somebody, whatever it is, to bring whatever they're saying to the light. As in,
Yes.
if they say something raunchy, say, you just did not tell me right now, blank, 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 blank. Now everybody's looking, and immediately they just stop in their track. They look at around to see who heard, and they usually just take off. They don't want to be seen. They don't want to be known as that person.
I could see also, thank you for sharing that. And I could see those hearing that, some people going, oh, I could never do that. But if you really think about it, it's you're embarrassing the person that's trying to embarrass you. They're trying to do a whole lot more to you than
Right.
embarrass. So in that moment, having that reaction verbally out loud, it's not making you look like the bad guy. It's putting it back on him or her, whoever's doing
Right.
that.
I'm trying to take the responsibility of what they're doing back onto them.
Yep, yep, and shut it
and-
down.
Well, to have my daughters have a way out, to buy time to get away from the situation
Right,
was the
yeah.
goal. So,
Yes, yes. Because sometimes we don't have a mace. Sometimes we don't, sometimes there's not a worker at the place we're at nearby that we could be, hey, there's this person being inappropriate. Please do something about it. There's times we have to do it ourselves. Why not every time? No matter if you're male or female.
yeah, it's not just women. It's also men who have the issue with women touching and doing different things. And
Yeah, as well as women towards women and males to males. So it's unfortunate. I love the idea though, and having a plan ahead of time of what to say, even if it never happens in somebody's lifetime, just having that plan and teaching it to others, even the younger ones, this is what you say. This is inappropriate,
yeah.
and they shouldn't be coming up and ever trying these things to you. So here's what you can say.
It may not come to you in that moment, and I wouldn't beat yourself up over it. Again, it could just be such a shocking moment that something happened that you just weren't expecting and it comes out of the blue. But if you plan it ahead of time, like you said, at least you could reach for it and see what comes out of it so that you could bring it to light.
Yep.
All right. That was it. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, Annette. Bye,
Okay.
everybody.
Bye-bye.